So you're considering the move to Charlotte, North Carolina, but you're not sure which neighborhood is best for you. Is it in the north, the south, the east, or the west? Well, in this video, I'm going to be diving into South Charlotte. Not only its dynamic and quite culturally diverse history, but also the fact that it's become the luxury hub of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I am a bit preferential to North Charlotte for a few reasons in the Prosperity Church and Huntersville areas, but honestly, South Charlotte is hard to beat. There's a lot of different features and benefits that have to do and come with living in South Charlotte, and I'm going to dive into all the pros and all the cons that come with this lifestyle and this area. Now, stay tuned to the very end because there's a few details that you may need to know before calling South Charlotte home. If you're looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina and South Carolina, the ins, the outs, and everything in between, you've come to the right channel. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and be the first to know about all upcoming changes coming to the Charlotte area. I'm 𝗖𝗀, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert, and we get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites every single day from people just like you who are looking to make the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina and South Carolina areas. Well, if that's you, drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, moving across the world, across the country, or just across town, go ahead and give us a call, a text, an email, set up a Zoom meeting. We're here to make your move exactly what you want it to be. South Charlotte has been known as the favorite when it comes to areas and locations in the region. There's a lot of reasons for this and a lot of reasons people decide not to move to South Charlotte. So where is it? What's it all about? And why does it matter to you? Well, first off, Charlotte is referencing anything south of Uptown. So basically between 77, 74, also known as Independence Boulevard, and south of Uptown and north of 485. It's kind of known as the lower wedge. If you were to take a look on a map, it looks like a little lower wedge or semi-triangle to the southern part of Charlotte. Now, although it's south of 485, Ballantyne is still considered a part of South Charlotte, partially because it still has that same atmosphere and vibe, but it's also a major hub and business center. Some of the major thoroughfares that are going to take you from Uptown Charlotte all the way through South Charlotte are South Boulevard as well as Park Road, and we also have Providence Road and Pineville Matthews, which also stretches from east to west. There are so many benefits to living here, which we're going to get to in a minute, but the biggest reason why this is so desirable is you can't go wrong regardless of where you end up in this wedge. In fact, there are so many incredible neighborhoods with their own unique feel and vibe, and let's just say it, personality, that you can't go wrong. But there's a lot of differences between some of these communities, and it's probably a good thing for you to get a better understanding of what you can expect. Three main areas of South Charlotte would include SouthPark, Ballantyne, but also Starmount. Now again, there are over a dozen others that are in this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of historical context so you can get a better feel for what all these areas are about. The entire SouthPark area was actually formerly owned by a former North Carolina governor, Cameron Morrison. This 3,000 acre farm is actually a dairy farm known as Moorcroft. In more recent times, when the SouthPark Mall was built in 1970, it turned the SouthPark area into a hub, not only a business center, but also full of luxury shopping. SouthPark is now known and home to over 177 luxury and high-end retail stores. And the expansion has continued. Along with that, this once dairy farm has turned into one of the most highly sought after areas for luxury homes. Popping down into Ballantyne, the southernmost part of South Charlotte, this whole area was actually once a hunting preserve, if you can believe it. Once owned by the Harris family, in the 1990s it started to undergo some major redevelopment and now is the #1 biggest business hub in the Charlotte region. Today, Ballantyne is a major residential as well as business hub in Charlotte, as you can imagine, featuring the Ballantyne Corporate Park as well as the Ballantyne Hotel. In addition, one of its largest, or one of the largest in Charlotte, developments is also the Ballantyne Country Club. This luxurious community is absolutely perfect if you're looking for more of a luxury environment that also has golf cart access to anywhere you'd want to go within the community. Now, while the those last two communities are among the highest level of luxury, you can still find affordable homes in the South Charlotte area. Areas like Starmount, as well as Sardis Woods and Forest, there are a few outlying communities that you can still find homes at a reasonable value. Many of these communities are known for their single-family brick ranch homes or also split level. Yes, there are a lot of split level homes in many of these neighborhoods. These areas were built out and developed between the mid-1960s and 70s, and that truly was the style of the time. Now, what we've seen happen time and time again is the communities south of Dilworth, little by little, have been redeveloping, regentrifying, and many of these brick ranches and tri-story homes or split levels have been ripped down and completely rebuilt all the way from the ground up. This has turned many of these neighborhoods on the way down, such as Sedgefield and even Madison Park, into some of the most highly sought after, as well as some of the more expensive areas to be in, especially from a price perspective. But if you're wanting to get ahead of where the regentrification is happening, Starmount may be a really good spot for you to start to look. Now, as I mentioned, all of South Charlotte is anything underneath the uptown area. It includes Cotswold as well as Chantilly. It also includes Lansdowne, Barclay Downs, Myers Park, Freedom Park, you name it, anything underneath is all encompassing. Now, as I mentioned, there's a lot of pros and cons to this, so let me highlight a few of the pros and cons for you. Schools is at the number one. That's right. If you want great schools, South Charlotte is where you need to be. Now, that being said, there are some wonderful schools outside of South Charlotte, but you would be tripping over great schools if you're in this region because they're all so good. Now, the one that I'm going to call out specifically is Quail High School. This is the number one public high school in all of Charlotte and in Mecklenburg County. In fact, its ratings are actually statewide in the top 5 best high schools in the state. Following right up after it is Providence High School, which ranks in the top 1% of high schools in the state of North Carolina based upon test scores. Like I said, if you want good schools, this is one of the best places to be. Now, aside from public schools, the South Charlotte region also has the top private schools in the state. Providence Day School, Charlotte Country Day School, and Charlotte Latin all rank in the top ratings for private schools in the state. It is probably one of the best hubs you're going to find school-wide. Now, one of the biggest negatives to South Charlotte is cost of living. Yes, while on average we see a far higher income level in the South Charlotte area, a lot of that due to economic elements and the actual cost of living from home values, we're going to notice that there are higher expenses in this region. Now, that's going to include slightly higher gas prices, slightly higher grocery prices, but really the biggest cost of living in the South Charlotte area is going to be your home value and your taxes. That's right, your home values are substantially higher in the South Charlotte region, and because of that, you're also going to get higher taxes. In addition to that, because you're in Mecklenburg County and in Charlotte, these are the two highest property tax regions. Now, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of a breather and give you an idea of what these taxes really look like, because many of you are coming from states with obscene tax rates. So let's talk about it. A $600,000 home in this area is probably going to be somewhere around $3,800 in taxes per year. So if you're coming from someplace like New York, New Jersey, LA, you're going to see a substantial decrease in your taxes, even though you're in one of the most expensive areas of the region. One of the major pros of this area is also the diversity. This whole region has such a diverse population, not only in age, in ethnicity, in religious backgrounds, you name it, you have an absolute melting pot in the South Charlotte area. Now, coming from New York, we're always called the melting pot. But one thing that nobody ever talks about is in New York, we kind of separate ourselves. You got the Irish, you got the Italians, Korean is over here, you've got Jewish communities, Catholic communities. They are very isolated from each other in many ways. You don't get that here. In fact, people live among one another, side by side, house next to house. It's actually a really beautiful thing to see, and everybody gets along, which is wonderful. Although there is so much diversity, people don't get in each other's way and are extremely respectful of other people's views, something that I truly appreciate. One of the worst parts about South Charlotte, however, is the traffic. Now, I know I talk about traffic on my channel a lot because I get a lot of questions about it. We are a major city. We are in the top 3 fastest growing cities in the country, and traffic's gonna happen, okay? It's gonna happen. South Charlotte has horrific traffic. Now, why is it so bad in South Charlotte? Well, if you look at a map, you're going to notice that most of the roads are what I would consider secondary roads. They're not major highways or interstates. You have a few major thoroughfares such as South Boulevard, which is a 4-lane with a center median for turning. You've also got Park Road, which is a 4-lane, no center median. That should totally happen. And you've got some other major veins such as 74, which brings you down Independence Boulevard. The challenge is, if you are trying to get inward, you can be sitting for a while. In fact, when I first moved to Charlotte, I lived in the west side of Charlotte, just off Harrisburg Road. Shout out to my East Charlotte people. I lived right there and worked in the SouthPark area. If I left just 5 minutes too late, it could take me an hour and a half to get to work. If I left on time, which I did try to do, it was still a 45-minute drive just from West Charlotte, because all the roads are back roads. So once you're in your center part of South Charlotte, it could take you 15 minutes to get to an interstate to get to other regions of Charlotte. Now, there is still the convenience factor because you've got everything you need right next to you. As long as you're not commuting to another far distance around Charlotte to go to work, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. But I do want to warn you, that 4:30 to 7 o'clock hour is not a time that you want to be sitting on 277 or anywhere near SouthPark. As I mentioned, SouthPark is the second biggest business park here in Charlotte. So you've got a lot of people coming and going. If you can avoid it at those times, you are perfectly fine. But just expect you're going to have delays during those common rush hour hours. And don't get me started on 77 South. Just saying, you will always sit. That is the one road you will always sit, no matter what time of day. Anyway, you've been warned. Now, another pro or great thing about South Charlotte is going to be from an economic standpoint. This area is a bustling, robust economy, and it's consistently growing with more businesses coming into town and a massive financial hub in this region. We see growth consistently. With a median household income of $113,000 a year and an average income for a household of $165,000 a year, it's no wonder that this area has a higher cost of living, as the folks that live there can afford it. In addition to that, as the home prices are much higher in this region, you would expect you're going to see far higher median incomes and average incomes in this area. So what else is driving the economic opportunities? Well, as we have more and more businesses moving into the Charlotte region, a lot of them are taking up residency in areas such as SouthPark, Ballantyne, and even Uptown. The trickle-down effect of this, which is bringing in some incredible people into the Charlotte area to work for these companies and giving even better opportunities financially in a job standpoint to people that already live here, this is actually growing the economy as a whole, which is going to, of course, then affect grocery stores as well as small shops and boutiques. Charlotte is actually a hub, and North Carolina in general is the #1 state for small businesses. If you want to start a small business and succeed, North Carolina is the top state to do it in, and Charlotte is the #1 city in the state to see those kinds of successful results. Now, another downside to the South Charlotte area is you do have limited walkability. I know that probably sounds a little funny as the population density is there, but the way in which our area has been built out is we have a lot of suburban neighborhoods within the South Charlotte area. Now, we do have hubs of shopping and grocery as well as coffee shops and things of that nature, but it's not like a village or something that you would see, let's say in New York, where you could walk down to the corner store. There's not as much of that present in the South Charlotte area. Now, while there are pockets that you will find, such as living near SouthPark or living in Dilworth or in areas perhaps even in South End, these are present, but they're not prevalent. So it's not something you're going to see in all of the neighborhoods. If you are looking for more walkability, you can of course go ahead and pinpoint some areas closer to shopping and dining, but you still may end up wanting a bicycle instead of walking, as things in our region are spread out. We're known as a commuter city, although we are also known as the city of trees. We do commute quite a bit, so cars are a big part of our everyday life. Charlotte's made some major efforts to improve upon, of course, transportation, but not everybody uses public transport, as it doesn't always give you the best conveniences. So putting in bike lanes, a ton of beautiful greenways, as well as sidewalks wherever you look, this is giving the opportunity for you to get out and about on foot or by bike or by scooter whenever you get the chance. But from a walkability right up the street kind of standpoint, it's not quite there. But that doesn't mean that it's not a perfect place to live, especially from a neighborhood standpoint, where you can just walk around the block and meet your neighbors. That is the biggest advantage. And lastly, from a positive standpoint, we have so many recreational and outdoor opportunities. One of my favorite parks in Charlotte is Freedom Park. It is humongous. My son absolutely loves it. And honestly, it is probably one of the prettiest parks I've ever been to. Surrounded by the neighborhood of Freedom Park, because it's actually the name of the neighborhood. You probably didn't know that. It's not very big. It's pretty much encompassed by the park. Freedom Park isn't the only one though. Littered throughout that southern Charlotte area, you've got some beautiful parks, some beautiful playgrounds, golf courses, greenways, you name it, it's got it. This has been a huge draw to people that are moving into the area that want accessibility to outdoor recreation and things to do, but don't necessarily want to drive for 20 minutes to try and find it. You will trip over the parks all throughout the Charlotte area. So I also want to highlight some of the top South Charlotte neighborhoods and what they bring to the table and what makes them so different and diverse. Starting from the top, Dilworth. Dilworth is a beautiful, charming neighborhood just outside of Uptown with some of the best views of Uptown that you could possibly get. Now, these price points in the Dilworth area are in the millions, so you will have to go ahead and break out your wallet a little bit if you're going to be in this area. But the biggest thing is it offers that Southern craftsman charm. It's also one of the oldest neighborhoods in Charlotte, so if you want a really historic home, you're probably going to find it. There's also new construction, but they all stay with that same vibe. Now, as Charlotte is built out, it's actually become an extremely convenient area, being right over the border from South Boulevard into South End, another great neighborhood. This particular hub is still going to give you that laid-back Southern charm lifestyle with all the conveniences of shopping, dining, nearness and proximity to 277, Park Road, as well as I-77 to get anywhere you need to go. Headed a little bit to the south of Dilworth into the center of South Charlotte, as close to Uptown as you can get being centered, you've got Myers Park. Myers Park area is a highly sought after neighborhood. Absolutely stunning, but very laid back. This neighborhood boasts residential all the way, with a focus on the greenway and the park and proximity to shopping, but not having shopping centers right in the center of it. It's probably one of the quieter neighborhoods in the South Charlotte area. Hopping over to the east, we have Cotswold. Now, Cotswold has changed quite a bit over the years, and it has been highly sought after for those that are just taking their toe into the South Charlotte lifestyle. Beautiful tree-covered neighborhood with convenience to the Independence Road as well as Providence Road. This thoroughfare makes it a great place to not only live, but also have proximity to get to work easier and great shopping opportunities. In fact, we also have a hub for Krispy Kreme right in that shopping center. In case you love Krispy Kreme, just saying. Back over to the west side, we have Madison Park. This beautiful neighborhood has a special place in my heart as I have several friends who have and do live in this neighborhood. Madison Park has two major thoroughfares that come through from I-77 to reach Park Road, and in fact, it butts right up against Park Road Shopping Center, one of the most popular shopping centers in the South Charlotte area. Built out in the 1960s, these beautiful homes are quaint at about 15 to 1600 square feet, brick ranch style 3-bed, 2-bath. Now the price ranges may shock you as you're going to have a little bit of difficulty finding a home under $600,000 to $700,000. But the proximity and lifestyle makes it more of a walkable neighborhood. That's right, with community events, walkability to Park Road Shopping Center and other shopping, you are in a great spot. In fact, you can also walk to the light rail. Hopping all the way back over to the west, you've got Lansdowne. Now Lansdowne is a lesser known neighborhood, but also one of my favorites. Pretty much strictly residential, this area boasts some gorgeous 1-acre lots with amazing homes. Now, while many of the homes are smaller, they've either been added onto or completely ripped down and had beautiful 4,000, 5,000 square foot homes put on the lots. The gorgeous part is they didn't touch the trees. That's right, this entire neighborhood is beautifully covered with old oak trees. You can walk down the sidewalk, meet your neighbors. you would not even know that you are a stone's throw from uptown Charlotte. Hopping back into the center, you've got SouthPark and Barclay Downs. Why am I talking about them together? Because they might as well be together. In fact, the SouthPark Mall actually sits technically in Barclay Downs, which most people don't know. This area is one of the most expensive areas in Charlotte from a standpoint of housing prices, but it gives a lot of opportunity to the people that are living in the area. Up next is Quail Hollow. For those of you that are golf fans, I'm not one, I'm sorry, but for those of you that are golf fans, Quail Hollow is one of the most prestigious golf courses in the country. And yes, we do have some incredible events that happen. I actually was able to attend the Wells Fargo Open not too long ago, and it was actually pretty cool, even for a non-golf fan. Now, the homes in this area, as you can imagine, they pull a pretty penny, but the actual atmosphere in the Quail Hollow area is gorgeous and pristine and just exudes luxury. It's kind of a bit of an experience. Back over to the east, we have Sardis. Now that's Sardis Woods, Sardis Forest, all of Sardis. These areas have more affordable homes, especially in comparison to many of the other South Charlotte areas. So you could find a home in the $600,000 range. Now, most of these are going to be smaller brick ranches, some tri-level, but the actual area is quite lovely, and you get the proximity and benefits to areas that are boasting $1 million homes. So sometimes you want to be the least expensive house on the block. These might be the best places to look. And to the southern border of South Charlotte, inside of 485, you have Providence Plantation, one of my favorite neighborhoods in Charlotte. Big lots, beautiful homes, some basements, which is great, but you're tucked away in an area that you would never know that you're in the middle of a city, as well as Old Providence. This is another great area that I highly recommend. And finally, to the dirty south, just kidding, just south of 485, we have Ballantyne and Providence Crossing. These two areas are absolutely incredible. Ballantyne is a planned neighborhood, a planned community. And while it is the largest business park in Charlotte, and I think in North Carolina, someone correct me on that if I'm wrong, but that area is going to boast some incredible price ranges for homes. And just next to it is Providence Crossing, where you still have all the proximity and all of the benefits of Ballantyne, but a slightly lower price. So that could get you in a really great spot to get everything you need in an affordable range. So South Charlotte, what do you think? Is it something you might be interested in? Don't worry, there's more to come on all of these neighborhoods as I dive in deep to each one independently, but hopefully this gave you an overarching view. Now, many of these neighborhoods I've already done specific videos on. Feel free to go take a look on my channel and give it a search and get more information, more in depth, to figure out which neighborhood may be best for you. If you're still not sure, drop it in the comments. What questions do you have? Or better yet, give me a shout. I hope you got a ton of value out of this video, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and be the first to know about all changes coming to Charlotte, North Carolina, and the upstate of South Carolina. And as I mentioned before, we get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites every single day from people just like you, looking to make the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So if that's you, drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days across the world, across the country, or just across town. We're here to make your move everything you want it to be. So give us a call, a text, an email. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. You're making the move. There's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're gonna help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They're both really good.